About the last bit of our topics or lessons for the customs procedure model. Yeah, so as we started, we said customs procedure is the legitimate steps taken to take goods out of customs control. So we are going to look at the last topic, customs regimes or customs procedures. As I said, there are about 8 or 9 of them, but we're just going to look about 3 or 4 typical popular ones. And the most popular one, that is the mother of all regimes, is the whole consumption regime. And actually is the template on which all the other regimes are fed. Because if you open the ICOMS homepage and you select, it will always ask you what regime do you want to do. When you select it, the template basically that you populate the fields or the functionalities that are mandatory depending on the regime code. So once you choose the regime code, it pops up and tells you how to populate the mandatory fields, and you achieve your aim of that regime also with customs. So now the home consumption regime is the first one, which is the template and the mother of all regimes, and it's just exactly like the procedure that we discussed through the ICOMS platform. From the beginning, the intention of any importer or exporter who wants to use the whole consumption regime is he's telling customs, I've come, I want to clear your goods totally and wholly out of your control by paying all necessary taxes that are due, provided they are due and the status of the importer permits the importer to pay taxes otherwise. Or the same, some importers who do home consumption, but because of their very status, they are exempted from duty, or they go duty free, or even they defer the payment of their duty. So you see, that is why the CPC comes in addition to the regime code. The regime codes are 2 digits, as I said, and the CPC is 5 alphanumeric. That confirms and tells each an importer's real transaction or specified intention. So if for home consumption, 5 different importers line up, have imported vehicles, and they all use the code 40, but when they drop down to the CPC, if all of them intend to pay duty outright, full duty, full taxes, they will all end up using the CPC that will allow them to pay their duty. But even then, it depends on the commodities and the status of the importer. The CPC will warrant the payment of duty all right at the end of the day, but there could be different CPCs. For instance, 2 different people are brought in cars. One is commercial in nature and one is the luxury car in nature. If you go to the customs CPC chart, the person with the commercial car in nature, because he will be paying something extra in taxes that the person who has brought the luxury car will not pay, the person CPC will be 40D11. But if I bring the luxury car that I drive for my personal life, for my family, I'll use my CPC is 40D13. You see? So it goes on and goes on. I can bring some items that are dutable, but I can also bring some items that they are dutable but will be exempted. So the PC will indicate the exemption by the middle one, B, E, or A, or G, or whatever it is. So the procedure is the same, but the CPC specifies and stamps out every individual's merit. So that is about the whole consumption regime. You start by the ICOMS platform, the flowchart that we discussed, it goes through the same flowchart from end to end. From the office of the declarant, that is the customs tax agent, establishes the UCR, put in the declaration, submit it for acceptance or otherwise. If it's accepted, assessment and tax bills are generated. If accepted, you go forward and pay. If not, you object, you give reasons for objection, and customs will review on its merit. After a tax bill is accepted, printed, paid at any participating bank or any digital platform that you want to use to pay. After that, the system automatically escalates it for other parties to see and work on. Then you go to the carrier, the shipping line, pay their liabilities. If they also satisfy, then they escalate you to the terminal where your goods are stuck or lodged for the necessary liabilities to be paid. And by then, customs to be aware that you are preparing yourself to come for examination, be it electronic, that the scanning, or the cancer examination. The risk model comes in. If the cargo is on green channel, it is even released at the assessment level. If it is on red channel, meaning you come and do 100% physical examination. But if it is on the yellow channel, which is medium risk, the medium risk combines about 3 different modes of examination by customs. When it passes through the scanning, is one of the mediums, and it is scan compliant. Away you go. But if they detect any abnormally, the goods should be unstuffed and abnormally addressed. But if it's not scanning, that's one of them. The next one is citing. The officer can cite the goods apparently and allow you to go. And the third one is the percentage examination. The officer can cause you to bring a certain percentage of the total number of packages down for him to examine. All things being well, after examination, no matter the type of examination, you are escalated and the way bill is issued and you exit the exit gate. But before then, you should understand that we are using the single window concept. So all documents that we are talking about are deposited, and all other user agencies that are concerned with this particular consignment should pick information from them, treat it as they want, and bring it and deposit it back there for collusion, for customs to have the authority to release their cargo or the otherwise. So this is the template of home consumption. The template is there. So let's pay attention to the second regime, which is the temporary importation. So some people call it temporary admission. Even the first word says an indication that the importer is telling customs authorities that the item I'm bringing in, my intention is to come and use it temporarily and eventually send it back or re-export it out of Ghana. Yes, when I say send it back to point of origin, is not proper. Anybody who brings goods into a country temporarily after serving its usage or purpose, he can take it out of Ghana, but the next location will not necessarily be the original place he brought it from. So certain goods are brought into certain countries for certain reasons or purposes and used and eventually sent out of the country are called on temporary admission. So virtually by the customs axiom, no consumption, no duty, temporary imported items don't pay duty, but the duty is inherent on them. So whoever is on temporary importation has to give customs the appropriate guarantees that should, in case they fall foul, customs have got something to fall on. So that is why we discussed earlier the customs bond and securities. So temporary importation is policed or guarded by giving customs the bond. In lieu of the bond, you can give them the other form of securities that we discussed under bonds and securities, be it the cash deposit, check guarantee, policing, or any other form of surety that should the unexpected happens, then customs have got something to fall on. What are some of the reasons that goods are accepted for temporary importation? For exhibitions, for trade fairs, for trials, for further processing, treatments, polishing, and what have you. Even animals from our neighbor's country can be brought in and graze our grass temporarily in the daytime, and they return back to their country of origin. It's all temporary importation. Because the same animals, if you want to really import them finally into Ghana, sold and slaughtered for consumption, you pay duty on them. So that was not temporary importation. So temporary importations are for things that are brought temporarily into a country for a specific period and eventually exported out of it. And this period is enshrined in the Kyoto Convention. A maximum is about 90 days. And that's 60. It depends on the country's legislature. I think in Ghana, ours is 90 days. If you want anything beyond the 90 days, then you have to reapply to the Commissioner General for extension and you cite reasons or renewal of the period. So the bonds used are normally the bonds issued by the state insurance companies of the member countries that are tangling with themselves. So, for instance, Ghana, through the regional body ECOWAS, we use the ECOWAS countries have agreed that each member country use status state insurance company. So Ghana